Hello my friends, Furtado here, the Rebel Turner. Today, many things that I would want to say, but just gonna stick to the subject, and that is wood turning. On the things that get me excited, that at least I have a piece of papery. It's a crutch and has a huge deterioration hole in the center, which actually has some activity, but it's like a mud pack in there. Got it on the lathe, already started turning it to get it mounted pretty much. So let's get started. I think the piece will be a nice looking piece. Now, one thing during the starting of the run is I seeing that if I don't take a precaution right now, I'm going to be losing all the bark. As you can see, all this is flying away because I just did some outside scrape. To eliminate that, what I have to do is come in towards the center from this, and this I will try to see if I can maintain this bark going in through this area right here, which I think will play a huge part. And this, you know, I can take it or leave it, but let me see if I can maintain this bark and get these fly frizzies away from this. Speed 1000 RPM. So let's see how we did by reversing that cut. I still see some flyaways. I might not be able to remove them completely, but that's already very soft and going better. I still got a little room to clean that up, but I don't want to go much further than this, or else I'll be interfering with this bark over here. I just want to get this outside edge. And I have to come up to this, I think. So I got a little bit to go. I might lose some of the bark. So we take another look, see what's happening. That's clean. This, well, you know, I don't think I'm going to be able to get much better than that. But cut those off. So I might not really save the bark on the outside. As it is, I don't have any bark here, so I'm gonna play and let it develop, and that's it. Bring the tool rest a little bit closer on this. Everything will catch up from the front now, going towards the back. Some nice coloration on this, for sure. And this will end up going fairly deep over here, but I will control some of it. I'm literally getting sprayed with water from the moisture on the wood. Beautiful, beautiful bloody red coloring going through here. I am actually looking forward to the end of this piece, and I think it's time to do that. Then I'll cut it up and sand it once it's all said and done and dry. Gonna remove it off my chuck. Not off the chuck, but remove the chuck and all off the lathe. Well, I actually might have to go a little bit beyond that. I might have to actually remove it off the chuck so I can plug it in from the bottom with some masking tape. So I gotta plug in this hole, or else everything is just gonna gush all the way through. I can do it from this side and fill it in from the back. And because I got the tenon here, that will actually be the way I go on this. Tape it up back here and fill it up from the back. And the taping is only to keep my my epoxy in place. Getting rid of these loose fibers on the top so they don't get in my way of the taping, and I don't get bleeding all over the place. And Walmart on the hobby or craft area, some glitter. And I don't know, you can use dust, so I want to try this metal flake. I want to make sure I mix enough on one shot. Like I said, this will be an experiment and see how it works. If it does work, my thinking is that this should give me a little bit of an effect, something like when people use turquoise. So I think I got enough there, and the glitter should show through, and it should not have any reaction with the epoxy whatsoever as far as getting it to grab. And that's the whole thing. That's what I want to make sure that it works for me, because epoxy will grab metal flake, metallic, as well as it will woods and plastics and that sort of stuff. The bottom seeing that most of it will be cut off, I could always do it with just clear epoxy. Okay, this has had a little bit of time to dry, so it's time to go in there and start cutting this down slightly. Now unfortunately the red is when the wood is really green, it starts fading away a little bit, but once I revive it again with a finish, it should come back a little bit. Now let's see what that turquoise looks like once all cut and sanded down. Okay, I gotta go a little deeper, get rid of this cave inside here, but I think that's gonna look really nice. Alright, there's no way that I got anything left over there but the turquoise glitter. Much better. That looks beautiful, nice, and I think that does it for this piece. It's time to go in there and start sanding it. I'm gonna see what Yorkshire grit will do on an epoxy finish. I should do fine. Bringing the luster back up on that. Now keep in mind, I've never really done much. I haven't done much at all with epoxy finishes. And pretty much for me, this is an experiment. Alright, that's not, the color is there, you can see the speckling, but it's not really what I thought it would be. But either way, it's time for me to give it a OB Shine Juice finish. And this OB Shine Juice that I'm using, I have substituted the boiled linseed oil with what is that? With tung oil. I liked what the turquoise glitter did in the piece. I like the shape of the piece. So I am not disappointed with that part of it. Just disappointed with the fact that I knew I had to cut this branch, and this was the base because this was taken from a sideways, so almost unavoidable. So I kept as much as I could out of its natural appearance with the bark as much as possible. The only area that would have had bark but didn't have it, and it was already missing before I started, was this little area right here. And that doesn't bother me much because it's just a natural cavity. It's the straight cuts that bother me when I get a finished piece and I'm unable to maintain unity throughout the whole piece. And the base will show the turquoise going through as well. Well, well, it's done. It's a mitt. But pepper tree with turquoise glitter and epoxy in the center. You know, it doesn't matter what it is that we're turning, whether if it's pepper tree, whether if it's oak, whatever it is. You should always search for what that piece of wood has to offer. And that is the way that you can expose the best possible character to any piece that you turn. On this particular case, it was a crotch, had a lot of the deterioration. I am not sure the turquoise glitter is what makes this piece, but it adds to this piece. I think the turquoise definitely is a complementary. I've always loved, anytime I saw a nice color piece of wood with a contrasting and complementary turquoise. Turquoise is probably one of my favorite colors, so I am partial to turquoise color to start off with. But always, every time I've seen somebody adding turquoise to it, and I don't mean glitter, I mean turquoise stone, crushed stone, it always added a flair to it that I always thought was wow. Haven't done it, have never gone out and purchased some turquoise, but I'm going to be playing possibly with some ideas of crushed shells with maybe reddish, pinkish colors to it, crush it up into a fine dust somewhat, and see how that works mixed in with epoxy as well, and go a little bit on that area, along with many things that I want to do. I mean, I just built the arm so I can do some deep hollow vessels, because one thing I want to do, and I got to find the right log. I want to make a come back, you'll see, but I definitely want to make something really nice, not something that it's not being done by other people. But with the arm, it really gave me a different understanding and a different appreciation for when people turn large pieces. I mean, I've turned wide bowls, 16, 17 inch, and slightly over that diameter platters. And that's very different. That's very different from turning a 12-inch long log, 8-inch diameter, and trying to hollow it out. That in itself is an art that I must practice on to be as good as I am with doing stuff of this sort. Really doing that, the last vase I did really challenged me on thinking outside of the norms and what worked, what didn't work. So it had a lot of gray areas that I had to play with and figure out what I was going to be doing in order to proceed with the project. It was very tedious in time. It took me a long time to get that hollowed out, and it still did not come out exactly to the way I wanted it to, because it involved me stopping it again, which I stopped many times to make modifications to the arm and make special tools for that arm cutters. So I will continue. When I use it, I will update a little bit on what I did different, or as far as an attachments to it. But for now, this is all we're concentrating on, is this turquoise glitter. And it's 88 cents for a tube of glitter at Walmart. It's on the hobby area and crafts. So I picked it up, seeing what it would do, and I thought that it would do as such. So I picked this, and I picked the turquoise, and I picked up some gold. I picked up some gold as well, which I have not tried. And I'll be doing something with that, something slightly different, not necessarily on something that's already bored out like that by the insects, but something with a border on that. Going to be looking, seeing if they possibly have red as well, and I think that red would look really good in some instances. So I'm going to be playing with glitter. Hey, thanks again. Don't forget, thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and share is what goes a long ways. You share, your friends see it, they like it, they share it, and it just keeps on going. Recently I had the most astonishing video, which was the log and made up burl with sawdust that made it look like burl. And I would look at the statistics, and I could not believe the analytics. Sorry, the analytics, and I could not believe that I was seeing, 1,100 viewers an hour. And it's like, oh my God, what did I do different on this? I mean, it's still my style. It just so happened that that one looked like that. But I do that in all my turnings. And the video in no time had over 100,000 views. To me, that was unbelievable. And with those 100,000 views, I got a lot of subscribers. I mean, I was staggering at that 7K area, and I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. Not quite there yet, but I will be soon if you do the following, which is like it and share it with your friends. They might like it too. I get a lot of new subscribers who are not wood turners, who are coming to my channel and are in awe, and the comments that I get leave me literally speechless, and sometimes a little choked up with they think too highly. I think they think too highly of me, and I am honored beyond belief. But at the same time, I don't think some of the comments I'm deserving some of those comments. But thank you very much anyway. All your comments matter to me. Sometimes I'm a little slow on the response. Between work and following up and doing paperwork, and sometimes all I can do is put one little comment. If somebody asking a question and I read the question, generally I try to respond to those rather than responding to, wow, nice job, Al, thank you, Al, thanks. And sometimes I hold off on those until I have time to go in there and actually do a proper response to everybody. But if somebody asks, hey Al, how did you do this, or how do you go about doing this, I try to respond to those, because if you ask a question, if it's a question, it's because you need an answer, and I try to give you the best answer that I can. My answers are never the only way that you can go about something. It's the way that I go about doing certain things. So with that, take it with a little grain of salt, because my ways sometimes are a little bit off the wall. They work for me, but they don't necessarily work for everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon. Hopefully not with another pepper tree, but something as exciting. Take care.